one of these family reunions, right? With like at least 10 uncles and at least 10 aunts and at least 10 platters of cold cuts, sandwich buns, and iced brownies. And there's a lot of makeup, a lot of hugging, a lot of sweaters, and a lot of ruddy cheeks. A lot of, how the heck are you? And where are you working now? And how's so-and-so? And then, of course, just as you begin to respond, the inquirer gives you this sort of folded arm, head nodding, with knees locked and pelvis thrust slightly forward stance, while your humanity in the guise of your last year is assessed. And you want to die a little, right? Because your last year is full of things you could never communicate, of completely ineffable, stupid things. A whole year of toil and hope, of jaw-clenched sleep, of sink and car repair, and gladiator-style fights with your vacuum cleaner. And this is what you're supposed to somehow convey, or not convey, in a friendly manner, an appropriate amount of time. That your whole life has become about bureaucratic maintenance? That you've begun to think of yourself, regard yourself as an institution, a company that is too big to fail. And as you gaze into the confused, slightly concerned, mostly bored eyes of a relative, you think, oh, and now I have to worry about brand management, too. Well, that's great. And you know, it's not their fault. They are fine, welcoming people. Even if they are all secret zealots who deep down pity you, it's okay, really. Because deep down, you pity you too. Because most of your time is devoted to securing yourself against a creeping sense of meaninglessness. Your every day is like being asked to sprint through slush under a gray sky. And though it is not fun, you fear without careful retirement planning, you might be forced to bed down in the slush too. And in the middle of this crisis, you realize maybe this is actually about the generational shift that is occurring, like a riptide in the reunion sea around you. Perhaps this is the source of your discomfort. You look around and see that most of your cousins have babies, or even toddlers, and most of your uncles and aunts are grandparents. And maybe this is what it is to sit at the adult table, to realize that your awkward phase is actually an essential characteristic of your personality. Social anxiety is just how you roll, and there's no escaping into the big dreams of the freedoms and social change and glory of tomorrow, because tomorrow has come. And things are pretty much the same, except now you pay taxes and have handheld devices that remind you to do that. And then you look over at your great Aunt Ava, who is the only leftover of your parents' parents' generation, the only member of the great-grandparent generation here. People don't engage her so much as they regard her. She's in the middle of the room, full of smiles and bad hearing and eating a brownie. Recently, someone has converted old 8mm of Family Vacation to DVD. So though Aunt Ava is at this reunion, she's really having one of her own. She's watching sunned and sunny young people smile and wave at the camera from a lake in which they splash and hold on to black rubber inner tubes. One dives down into the water, legs kicking up to the sky, and then just disappears. The others paddle around, quiet-faced in anticipation, staring at the surface he once occupied, until just like that, he reappears and everyone shouts and screams and waves at the camera, wet-headed and wiping at their eyes. And Aunt Ava stays there silent and still, until the scene changes, and now there is a small boy standing under a grand tree, tugging at the leaves of a low-hanging branch. And he looks up and tugs, looks back at the camera, almost still, until he looks up and tugs again. And then he just looks up. Aunt Ava touches the screen. And you think to yourself, you don't know any of these people. You've never been told who they are, what they've done, how you should feel about them, nothing. And you don't know how it is that we just don't care. But you're nearly laughing to yourself now. We don't. We just don't. And you tell yourself, whatever you do, don't disappear, like the boy in the water. Reappearance is no special trick. Resurrection is not possible, regardless of what your relatives may believe. So don't disappear. And maybe, too, you should stop looking up. You're not the boy in the film. You're no boy. You're no child. You're at the adult table now. Learn a little concision, a little composure. You're at the adult table now.